All right, I'm cleaning up a mess here. I just wrapped shooting a brand new movie, and so I haven't made a video in a while, about 3 weeks actually, and cleaning up my studio here. But I wanted to hop in and make a video talking about the new movie. I didn't shoot it on an iPhone, shot it on a Red Komodo, but I did shoot some insert shots with an iPhone using Filmic Pro, which I'm using right now to shoot this video. And we of course shot a lot of behind the scenes using an iPhone, but regardless of what kind of camera you shoot on, a movie that is, whether it's a Komodo or a Arri Alexa, a Sony FX6, or yeah, an iPhone, the main thing you want to do is treat it all the same. Meaning take the same approach, whether that's from lighting, production design, etc., that you would no matter what. In other words, don't skimp on the other stuff just because you're using a lesser quality camera. I mean, today, again, whether you're shooting on a phone or a mirrorless camera or a high-end cinema camera, you can get really good results. Now, I've been involved in 10 or so feature-length projects, either as a producer, director, editor, or all of the above. And that is feature films and also feature-length digital series. And so this isn't my first rodeo, not my first feature by any stretch. This one, though, was interesting because it was a period piece. Got some skateboards here. Movie was set in 1981. And so there was a lot of moving parts here. But no matter how many times I make a movie or how many times I make a project or put a project together, I always still learn, even though I have a lot of experience. And I think that's important, and no matter what level you're at. But because of that, I wanted to talk about 3 reminders or lessons that I learned, or again, was reminded about while I made this movie, which I think will ultimately help you when you embark on your own project, whether that's a feature film or a short film or even a YouTube video. Everything almost always takes longer than you think, and especially when you're shooting, especially on set. Whether it's tweaking the lighting or waiting on cloud cover, the sun will pop its head out and go back behind the clouds, or someone starts up a lawnmower, or someone decides to cut down a tree, crank up a chainsaw. That did happen on this shoot. Or it begins to rain. We battled rain on this shoot as well. Inevitably, something will come along. We even had people get stung by a wasp one day. It will come along and make things go slower than you think. And so no matter what you budget time-wise, be prepared for it to take longer. You don't need super expensive gear. Now, yeah, we shot this movie on a Red Komodo, but in the scheme of things, that's not very expensive, especially when you compare it to an Arri Alexa or Sony Venice, etc. And the results are remarkably similar. The results are really good. And again, depending on your project, you could absolutely shoot this on a phone or a mirrorless camera, whatever you want. Today, the options are really infinite and almost all are affordable, so they're within reach. The crazy thing is, we actually shot this movie with only 4 main lights. Our main light was a Forza 500 from Nanlite. We used it to simulate the sun. And we also used a Colbor 220 watt light. I've made a video about that. It's a really affordable, great COB light, kind of like the Nanlite, just not as powerful. And lastly, I used one of those new little Zhiyun 60 watt lights, and I'm going to do a dedicated video about that light. It's incredibly small, but it packs a punch, and we used it a lot as an accent light, but also as a light to simulate daylight coming in a window. And then we did also use a few tube lights here and there, and a light mat, just a portable, flexible light mat that I actually use in my studio a lot, but that was an easy light to put on a C-stand and put over different things we were trying to light. But I don't want to get too in the weeds about that right now. The main point is we used off-the-shelf affordable lighting that really anyone has access to, and we shot a feature film with it. And the last lesson, or for me, a reminder, is just to stress that you don't need a huge crew to make a movie either. Now, I've been a proponent of that for a long time. If you watch my channel, I do short films with a 2-person crew all the time. Now, I had more than 2 people on this shoot, but not many more, especially for a feature. I think our main crew was about 8 people per day. That was me as the director and DP. That's a first AD. I did have a camera assistant who was really more of an intern, but he worked as kind of a second AC. I had a gaffer, and then we had a grip, and we had a sound person, a sound mixer, a wardrobe person, and makeup. Oh, and of course I had an art director or production designer as well. And so yeah, it's a great way to go depending on the scope and size of your film, what kind of film you're making. But for an indie, dramedy, or comedy, that's all you really need. And again, you could go smaller, or depending on the complexity of your project, you may go bigger. But don't be fooled into thinking you need a 30 or 40 person crew, because you don't. And that way you can actually make your movie, it's attainable. And what that really refers to is the budget. You can make your movie for a lot less money by keeping the crew smaller and keeping the budget in control. Again, especially when you're doing this as an indie film. And so again, it doesn't really matter what kind of camera you use. In the end, it's all the same when it comes to producing a professional project. Because here's the deal. I know we're on YouTube and I know we all are trying to do the best we can, but I always say I didn't go to film school. Well, I didn't go to film school anyway. I did get a degree in radio, TV, film, but I didn't go to film school to make car commercials. Nothing wrong with car commercials, but I went to film school to make movies. I wanted to make movies, and I do make movies. Now, I don't make movies as a full-time living. I obviously do YouTube videos, I do commercials, etc. But my passion and why I want to make videos or make films is from the movie perspective. And so I'm sure a lot of you out there are the same way. Nothing wrong with doing YouTube videos like I'm doing right now or social media. But in the end, I'm a storyteller and I like to tell stories. So again, hopefully those tips helped you and can better prepare you as you decide, or when you decide, to do your own feature film or short film. And again, if you don't know about the movie, it's called Casey's Favorite Song. There's a link in the description. I'll be talking about it over the next several months or maybe longer, depending on how long it takes to get finished, get made. We're in post-production now. We're gonna try to enter festivals, and who knows what the distribution will end up being. But if you're wanting to follow along, I'll be, again, doing videos here and on my second YouTube channel under my name, Blake Calhoun. Well, thanks for watching. This is Blake Calhoun. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Cut.